Cryptic Media TV.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Cryptic coming back at you with a second video for today. So this one is in relation to an older story from the 25th of January 2019. I appreciate it is old news, but it is in relation to police corruption, which is something I will be focusing on from time to time because it seems to be a reoccurring topic, and I just hate the hypocrisy involved. These guys are paid to protect us, these guys are paid to serve us, yet sometimes some of these officers think the law doesn't apply to them. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not against every police officer. There's some really, really good police officers out there, but they seem to be few and far between. Anyway, on with the story. Disgraced West Yorkshire Police murder detective locked up for fitting up burglary suspects. Corrupt detective Chief Inspector Elizabeth Belton has been locked up for 2 years for fitting up suspects in a burglary investigation. The judge told the disgraced senior officer she had driven a coach and horses through police procedures designed to ensure fairness and integrity in the justice system. Belton was found guilty of plotting with her colleagues, Police Constable Judith Mulligan, to corrupt an identification procedure to secure convictions against 2 men. Mulligan was given a suspended sentence over her role in the conspiracy to pervert the court of justice. Belton and Mulligan were found guilty after a retrial at Leeds Crown Court. Judge Tom Bayliss QC told Belton, "The public must be able to trust the police to uphold their rights. How can the public do that when senior police officers are subverting those rights?" West Yorkshire Police maintain the highest standards that are jealously guarded, hence this prosecution. I beg to differ. The judge added, "I think you, Elizabeth Belton, got carried away. You were showing off to your friend and you were throwing your weight around with your junior colleagues." The former murder detective tweeted a message prior to being sentenced, which read, "All faith in British justice lost. You stand up for the rights of people like Elsie Frost and Joe McCafferty and then become the centre of a with sick hunt." I think that's meant to say witch hunt. That may be the title of my book. Plenty of time to finish it. How poetic, no pun intended. During the trial, jurors heard 2 men were jailed as a result of corrupt methods used by West Yorkshire police officers during the investigation. The court heard Belton sent text messages to Mulligan saying, "You fit him up, lol." She also described the suspects as little shits, stating, "I hate burglars." The offences took place during September 2013 after 2 men tried to break into Mulligan's home on School Street, Pudsey, Leeds. Mulligan dialed 999 and described 2 suspects outside her home as being teenagers wearing dark clothing. Police were sent to the area and stopped 2 men aged in their 30s. The pair were arrested and taken to Pudsey Police Station after checks revealed they both had criminal records. Mulligan contacted Belton about the incident. A third defendant, former Police Sergeant Mohammed Gotha, 54, was found not guilty of the charge. The court heard Belton sent a text message to Mr. Gotha, a sergeant at Pudsey Neighbourhood Policing Team, to make arrangements for photographs to be taken of the 2 suspects. Images of the 2 men were then delivered by a police constable to Mulligan's home so she could view them ahead of taking part in an identity procedure. Jurors were told that Mulligan attended the former Millgarth Police Station in Leeds City Centre the next day and was able to identify the men. Mulligan also changed her description of the suspects, stating they were older. Scenes of crime officers were unable to find any forensic evidence at Mulligan's home, and the investigation hinged on Mulligan's identification evidence. The 2 suspects were charged with attempted burglary and subsequently jailed. After the convictions, Mulligan sent a text to Belton stating, "That'll teach them to try and burgle a single mum looking out for her 2 children, and let that be a lesson to them. Stay away from Pudsey!" Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. It was the second time all 3 defendants had been on trial for conspiracy to pervert the course of justice. A jury was dismissed at the end of the original trial in April last year after they were unable to reach verdicts. A report restriction was in place through the 2 trials but was lifted after the verdicts were returned. So that coverage was from the Yorkshire Evening Post. There's also an article from Leeds Live which covers what happened on the date of trial and coverage from the court at specific times. I won't read the full article, but I will put the link in description if you want to read it yourself. There's just several little quotes in there that add a little bit of context to the story. Such quotes as, "Belton cried in dock at judge summarised night of burglary. You've had a fall from grace. This is a one-off and out of character. Mulligan has shown selfless dedication, says defence barrister. Belton has suffered from adverse press coverage. Belton rose through the ranks swiftly. It was a gross breach of trust." I was trying to find a picture of Judith Mulligan for this article, but I could not find a picture. For some reason, there's not one that could be easily accessed online. However, I did accidentally stumble upon another article from a different publication with regards to Officer Belton. So this is from a publication called the Unprofessional Standards Department. I've never actually heard of this, but here's the headline. PSD goes undercover with another cock-up, and then it goes on to describe an incident, which I'll read some of, but I'll just put the screen grab of the article in there for you so you can read it yourself, yeah? On April the 18th this year, the Yorkshire Post were tipped off by UPSD about a serious incident concerning 3 West Yorkshire Police officers, Chief Superintendent Whitehouse, Chief Inspector Belton and Sergeant Beddis. The following day, a front page story headlined, "Probe after steam rises in police gym. Shocked and dismayed the Post's readers." It also remained one of the most visited pages on the newspaper's website. More shocking is that we can now reveal that none of those 3 officers faced either criminal prosecution or meaningful disciplinary sanction concerning the alleged offences of criminal damage, affray, Section 47 assault or discreditable conduct concerning an incident that began in the sauna at Killingbeck Police Station. So like I say, I'll just enclose the screen grab so you could take a read of the story for yourself, and I'll also add a link to this site where you can view this in case you want to read it. I also came across an article from the 26th of March 2016 stating that murder detective placed on restrained duties after making a racist comment at her forced Christmas party. So it seems like she's also got a little bit of a racial nasty streak going on as well there. I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't really care. But at the end of the day, it was big enough to make news coverage once again. So she's been in the newspaper for misconduct at least 3 times. Busybody. I'll put the link in the description. So personally, I'm not very keen on burglars either, but given the fact she's a senior police officer, she has a responsibility to uphold the law in its fullest form and act as a role model for other police officers and members of the public. So it seems like she has a taste for breaking the law, you know, whether it's indecent conduct within a police station sauna or whether it's fitting up burglary suspects or getting suspended over racial slurs. What do you think, guys? What are your opinions on this? Do you think 2 years was harsh? Do you think it was light? Do you think the other officer's suspended sentence was adequate? Let us know what you think in the comment section, guys. I'd really appreciate your input on this. So thanks a lot for taking the time to watch this video. Please do me a massive favour, like, share and subscribe to this new channel. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care and I'll speak to you all soon.